The Queen explains that in her culture, such a statement is a formal proposal. Rejecting it publicly would be seen as weakness. Accepting it means a binding alliance, sealed by an ancient rite. Rylan panics. He tries to explain it was a joke, but the Queen takes it as an insult to her honor. She orders him to be taken to the Chamber of Vows. The humans watching via comm link think he is about to be executed. Inside the ritual chamber, strange glowing symbols cover the walls. The Queen arrives alone, no guards. She tells Rylan she will cancel the proposal only if he beats her in a trial of strength or courage. But humans are physically weak compared to her species. Rylan tries to use diplomacy instead, talking calmly, respectfully. The Queen is shocked. No male ever talks to her like that. She begins to doubt her own strict traditions. Before the trial can begin, an explosion shakes the palace. A rival alien faction, the Vhoran raiders, breaks in. Their goal? Kill the Queen and blame humans for it. Rylan shields the Queen from falling debris, risking his life. She is stunned that a soft human would protect her. Welcome to my channel Sci-Fi Love Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The throne hall of the Zereth Dominion was a place built to make visitors feel small. The ceiling rose like a mountain. The walls glowed with sharp blue lines. Massive statues of old warrior queens watched silently from each corner. Every step inside echoed like thunder. Captain Rylan Ward, a human diplomat, stood right in the middle of it, alone, sweating, and already regretting every life choice that brought him here. The Queen of the Zereth Dominion, Queen Serak'tha, sat on a high throne of black stone and silver metal. She was tall, armored, and shaped like a warrior born from fire. Her skin shimmered like polished obsidian. Her eyes glowed red, like burning coals. She was known across the galaxy by many names, the Iron Queen, the Star Reaper, the destroyer of fleets, and now Rylan had been sent to negotiate peace with her. He had survived worse. Maybe, probably not. The hall was silent, too silent. Behind Rylan, a dozen Zereth guards stood like statues, their weapons aimed at the floor, but always ready. The air felt heavy, like everyone was holding their breath. When the Queen finally rose from her throne, the guards straightened. Her steps were slow, powerful, echoing through the massive hall. She stopped only 2 meters in front of Rylan. Her voice was smooth, calm, and dangerous. "Human, you have come far. Speak your purpose." Rylan swallowed. His throat was dry as sand. He was supposed to deliver a serious diplomatic message, but standing there in front of her, his brain decided to betray him. He tried to lighten the moment. He tried to be charming. He tried, very stupidly, to make a joke. With a tense smile, he said, "Your Majesty, you'd make a cute wife." There were 87 guards in the hall. Every single one froze. The Queen didn't blink. A long silence filled the room. Rylan felt his heart drop into his stomach. Why did I say that? Why does my brain hate me? Why am I not dead yet? Finally, the Queen spoke. But she didn't shout. She didn't laugh. She didn't react in anger. She said, in a voice so steady it was terrifying, "I accept." The sound of metal scraping filled the hall as guards instantly raised their weapons toward Rylan. His eyes widened. Wait, what? That was a joke. The Queen stepped closer, her glowing red eyes locked onto his. "In Zereth culture," she said softly, "such a statement is not a joke. It is a formal marriage proposal, spoken before the throne." Rylan's mouth fell open. His brain crashed. Somewhere in the universe, a star exploded, probably out of embarrassment for him. He raised his hand slowly. "Your Majesty, I didn't mean, you insult my honor by withdrawing it," she interrupted sharply. "A queen who rejects a public proposal is seen as weak. So I shall not reject it." Rylan froze. The Queen turned to her guards. "Take him to the Chamber of Vows." The guards stepped closer. Rylan panicked. Wait, I'm not ready to get married. Especially not to someone who can lift a starship with one hand." The guards didn't stop. The Queen didn't look back. And so began one of the worst days of Rylan Ward's life. The Chamber of Vows was a circular room underground, lit by blue torches that burned without smoke. Symbols glowed across the walls, ancient writings talking about unity, blood, and eternal bonds. Rylan stood in the center, arms crossed, trying not to scream. The Queen entered moments later. No guards, no weapons, just her. Rylan stepped back. "Okay, Your Majesty, let's be calm. Humans have jokes. Jokes are not proposals. A proposal is kneeling, rings, flowers, romance, not my idiot mouth. The Queen tilted her head, studying him. You wish to withdraw the claim? Yes, he shouted. Her eyes glowed brighter. Only one way exists. You must defeat me in the trial of courage. Rylan blinked. The what now? A test where the proposer proves their worth, or earns the right to cancel the bond. Rylan rubbed his face. Mom, with all respect, I can't defeat you in anything. Not in strength, not in speed, not in arm wrestling, definitely not in staring contests. She folded her arms. Then use courage. I don't have that either, he muttered. But the Queen heard him. Her gaze softened, just slightly. No male has ever spoken to me. I end this tone, she said. You do not fear my rank. I fear everything right now. Rylan said. Your rank, your army, this ritual room, the glowing walls, everything. For the first time, the Queen almost smiled. Almost. Before she could speak again, boom. The entire chamber shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Another explosion ripped through the palace above them. The Queen's eyes narrowed. This is an attack. Rylan felt the floor tilt. From who? The answer came quickly. Through the broken door marched black armored figures, the Vhoran raiders, a brutal mercenary race known for assassinating rulers and selling the footage. Their leader pointed a plasma blade at the Queen. Serak'tha, he hissed. Your reign ends tonight. Rylan acted without thinking. He grabbed the Queen's arm and pulled her behind him as part of the ceiling crashed down. The Queen looked shocked, deeply shocked. You protected me, she said, stunned. Rylan coughed from the dust. I didn't do it on purpose. It just happened. Still, she whispered, no one has ever dared. More raiders stormed the corridor. Rylan grabbed the Queen's hand. We need to move. Now. She didn't argue. That alone scared him more. The escape. The Queen led him through a hidden tunnel that opened with her palm print. The narrow passage shook with more explosions. Sparks fell like burning snow. Rylan breathed hard. Is your palace always like this? No, she replied. This is new. They ran through a winding tunnel until they reached a small chamber with scanning devices. The door behind them slammed shut just as raiders reached it. The Queen placed her hand against the wall. A holographic map appeared, showing red blips closing in. They want to kill me and place the blame on Earth, she said. Rylan frowned. Why Earth? You humans grow too powerful, she said. The galaxy watches you with both fear and awe. Rylan blinked. Awe, us. Her voice softened. You are small but impossible to predict. Weak in body but strong in mind. You fight for each other. You survive things my people cannot. Rylan didn't know whether to feel proud or terrified. The map beeped. Raiders were closing in. The Queen grabbed a spear from a wall rack. She tossed it to him. Rylan stared at it. Do I look like someone who knows how to use this? He asked. She handed him a smaller blade. Then use this. He held it backward. The Queen sighed. Other way. He fixed it. Right. Yes. Totally knew that. The door burst open. Raiders flooded the room. The Queen fought like a storm, fast, deadly, unstoppable. Rylan swung his blade exactly once and hit a raider's knee. A small knee. The raider fell anyway because the Queen kicked him into a wall hard enough to crack it. More raiders came. Reet, she commanded. They ran again. In the deep tunnels they reached a long corridor filled with glowing lines. The Queen whispered, this is the old escape route of the first queens. Rylan touched one of the glowing lines. It pulsed under his fingertips. It's beautiful, he said. It is sacred, she replied. And we must leave quickly. They rushed down the corridor, but halfway through, they heard footsteps behind them. Dozens of raiders. Rylan stopped. We can't outrun them. The Queen turned, ready to fight. Then we end here. Rylan stepped in front of her. Again. Hold on, he said. I have an idea. The Queen paused. Human ideas are dangerous. Exactly, he said. That's why they work. He climbed onto a stone platform and pulled wires from a glowing node. What are you doing? She asked. Improvising, he said. You could explode this entire tunnel. That's the plan. She blinked. Oh. Rylan finished connecting two glowing threads. The corridor lights flickered wildly. When I say run, he said shakily. How long until detonation? The Queen asked. Rylan shrugged. I don't know. Human math isn't perfect. He pulled the final wire. The tunnel hummed violently. The raiders charged. Rylan yelled, run. They sprinted. The Queen grabbed his arm and pulled him faster, much faster than any human could run. The tunnel shook, lights bursting behind them. They dove behind a stone barrier. Boom! The explosion rocked the entire underground network. Dust and heat washed over them. Rylan coughed, but he was alive. The Queen slowly sat up, staring at him. "You risked your life again," she said. Rylan groaned. "Honestly, I'm not trying to. It just keeps happening." She studied him silently for a long moment. "You are strange," she said softly. "But brave." Rylan blinked. "Wait, was that a compliment? Do not get used to it." The last corridor they pushed forward through a broken tunnel until they reached a narrow metal walkway above a deep pit. The Queen stepped first, then Rylan. Suddenly, a roar sounded behind them. The Raider commander appeared, armor damaged but eyes blazing with fury. "You will not leave alive," he shouted. The Queen pushed Rylan behind her. "Stay back." Rylan shook his head. "No, not this time." He stepped beside her. The Queen looked at him with something new in her eyes, respect. But the Raider commander raised his weapon and charged. The scene froze. The narrow metal walkway trembled beneath their feet as the Vhoran commander stepped forward. His armor was cracked, glowing with sparks. His eyes burned with rage. Queen Serak'tha raised her weapon, her body tense and ready for combat. Captain Rylan Ward stepped beside her, even though his hands shook and his legs felt like jelly. The commander pointed his blade at them. "You think you can escape?" he hissed. "Humans are weak. The Queen is alone. Both of you will die here." Rylan whispered to the Queen, "Tell him to stop giving villain speeches. They always end badly." The Queen blinked once. "This is not the time for humor." Rylan nodded. "I know. It's a stress thing." The Raider commander let out a roar and charged. The Queen met him head-on. Their weapons clashed, sending sparks across the walkway. The impact shook the bridge so violently that dust fell from the ceiling. Rylan backed away, only 2 steps, before he saw a second wave of raiders approaching behind the commander. "Oh great," he muttered. "More friends." The Queen fought hard, her movements sharp and powerful. But the commander was strong, stronger than she expected. He slammed his weapon into her shield, forcing her back. Rylan looked around desperately. He didn't have strength. He didn't have speed. He didn't have special abilities. But he had one thing: human thinking. Human chaos. Human creativity. He grabbed a loose metal pipe from the wall and swung it at the nearest raider. It hit the raider's helmet with a loud clang. The raider turned. Rylan gulped. "Hi!" The raider roared and charged. Rylan threw the pipe behind him and ran. The fierce battle. While Rylan ran in blind panic, Queen Serak'tha locked weapons with the commander. Their blades sparked with each strike. "You defend a human," the commander spit. "To think the mighty Queen would lower herself so far." The Queen's voice was sharp as steel. "He has shown more courage than any warrior I know." The commander laughed. "Courage? He is a child hiding behind luck." The Queen's eyes burned brighter. "No, he is something my people have forgotten. A fighter who does not need strength to be strong." She pushed forward, slashing at the commander's weapon. Meanwhile, Rylan's running strategy was failing. 3 raiders chased him down the walkway. He looked ahead. There was a broken section of railing and a deep pit beneath. "Great. I'm going to die in a hole. Again, not my plan." He skidded to a stop, grabbed a loose power cable from the wall, and pointed it at the metal floor. He yelled at the raiders, "Hey, ugly helmets, come on." They charged faster. Rylan touched the cable to the ground. Crack! A burst of blue electricity shot across the walkway. The raiders shrieked as the shockwave hit their armor, sending them flying backward. Rylan dropped the cable, shaking his hand. "Ow, that hurt. Why do humans invent electricity?" He turned to help the Queen. Side by side, the Queen was being pushed back. The commander's strength was overwhelming, his blade pressing against hers. Just when he was about to strike a final blow, Rylan jumped on the commander's back. "Surprise hug!" Rylan yelled. The commander staggered. The Queen took the opening. She slammed her shield into the commander's chest, knocking him backward. Rylan flew off his back and hit the ground with a grunt. "Ow, did I help?" Rylan asked. "Yes," the Queen said simply. "More than you know." The commander rose again, furious. "You dare interfere, human insect." Rylan stood up, rubbing his arm. "I'm not an insect. I'm more like a very annoying raccoon." The commander roared and charged again. This time, the Queen was ready. They fought together, the Queen with her precise, powerful attacks, and Rylan with unpredictable chaos. Rylan tripped a raider by accident. The Queen knocked 3 more aside. Rylan threw a broken chunk of metal at the commander. The Queen used the distraction to land a crushing blow. Finally, the commander staggered near the edge of the walkway. The Queen stepped forward. This ends now. The commander raised his weapon for one last attack. But Rylan shouted, "Duck!" Without thinking, the Queen did. Rylan charged forward and headbutted the commander. The commander stumbled backward, lost his balance, and fell off the walkway into the darkness. A long silence followed. Rylan panted, I think I broke my forehead." The Queen stared at him. "You defeated the commander," she said softly. Rylan leaned against the wall. "No, gravity did." The return to the throne room. The battle noises faded. The palace's automated systems began securing doors. The surviving raiders fled, unable to fight without their leader. Queen Serak'tha touched her wrist panel. "Recall the royal guard. Secure the palace." A moment later, armored Zereth soldiers rushed through the tunnels. When they saw Rylan standing beside the Queen, dusty, bruised, and breathing hard, they froze in shock. "He fought with you?" one guard whispered. "He saved my life," the Queen said. That sentence alone shocked every guard more than any explosion today. They escorted the Queen and Rylan back to the throne hall. The once grand room was damaged from the attack, broken pillars, shattered crystals, scorch marks on the floor. But Rylan only had one thought. Finally, a chair. "I can sit." He tried to sit on a fallen stone block, but the Queen grabbed his arm. "Not yet," she said. He groaned. "Please don't tell me more raiders are coming." "No." She stepped toward her throne. "For now, something more important." The Queen's decision. The throne hall filled with guards, advisors, and nobles. Everyone bowed as the Queen returned to her seat. Rylan stood awkwardly, covered in dust, holding a bent knife he had forgotten to drop. Queen Serak'tha spoke loudly enough for the entire hall to hear. "This human stood against our enemies. He protected his own life and mine. He fought with no armor, no training, and no fear." Rylan raised a finger. "I had fear. A lot of fear. So much fear." The Queen ignored that. He risked everything, not for reward, but because he could not stand aside. This is the meaning of true courage. Something my people have forgotten. The hall whispered in shock. The Queen stood from her throne. "Rylan Ward." Rylan stiffened. "Yes, Your Majesty, you gave a proposal." Her voice softened. "Even if you say it was a joke." Rylan's face turned bright red. "Yes, about that. Can we please never talk about it again?" She stepped closer to him, her eyes glowing softly instead of sharply. In Zereth law, a proposal is a sacred thing. It can only be cancelled in two ways: by rejecting the proposer with dishonor, or by the proposer proving themselves worthy in battle, and choosing to walk away. Rylan's heart thumped. "So, did I prove myself?" The Queen nodded slowly. "You proved something I did not expect. You proved what humans are truly made of." She raised one hand, and the hall fell silent. "You have earned the right to choose your own future." Rylan blinked. "Wait, I get a choice." "Yes," she said. "Two paths." The hall held its breath. Option 1. Walk away as a free man. Return to Earth. Your joke is forgotten. Our alliance ends here. Rylan nodded slowly. Or, she continued, Option 2. She took one step closer, her voice lowering. Accept the alliance. Accept the proposal you began. And stand beside me as a partner, not a servant. Rylan nearly tripped. Partner, every king of Zereth commands a fleet, she added, almost teasingly. You would have your own warship. Your own council. Your own standing. He stared at her. He thought about the escape tunnels. Their fight together, her trust, her respect, and something else, something he didn't want to admit. The Queen was terrifying, but also, strangely admirable. Finally, he took a long breath. So if I say yes, do I get my own spaceship? The Queen's eyes widened, then she laughed. A soft, warm laugh that echoed in the hall. No one had heard their Queen laugh in years. She stepped closer until she stood directly before him. You may command an entire fleet. Rylan's heart jumped into his throat. He grinned nervously. In that case, Your Majesty, I accept. A wave of shock passed through the hall. The Queen touched his shoulder gently, a sign of royal acceptance. Then let the stars witness this new alliance, she said. And let the galaxy prepare for the human who became king.